start your usual litany.
What are you talking about?
Telling me to get out and so on.
I see. Now look, I'd just like to say a couple of things. Firstly, I've realized there's no getting rid of you. So it's a waste of time and effort to try. But secondly, I have come to the conclusion that our time spent together does not have to be entirely wasted. If I'm to serve you for your purposes, there is no reason why you should not reciprocate by serving mine in return. Did you not, at the outset, offer to initiate me into your mysteries if I agree to shield you? Well, I accept your offer.
Yes, I knew you would in the end. Which explains why I was so persistent. How nice to see my persistence rewarded at last. But let me not overdo the modesty. I don't ascribe your decision to my persistence alone, but to the undoubted success of our collaboration.
And what success do you have in mind?
Well, not only have you managed to keep your job at the Institute, you have actually managed to strengthen your position there. I was delighted to notice that you, in this case, even managed to avoid the Smichowski compensation syndrome. Now that's what I call progress.
If by that you mean that I've jettisoned all my moral principles and left myself open to whatever you may choose to awaken in me, then you are very much mistaken. I have not changed. I have only gained a little more self-control, which enables me to know exactly how far I can go without the risk of doing anything I'd later have reason to regret. What's the matter with you? You look scared. I have never seen that before. Surprising it should happen now, just as I have agreed to shield you.
It's nothing.
Are you in pain?
It's nothing, it'll pass.
What's so funny?
My doctor, there is nothing wrong with saving your own skin by dint of a little skullduggery. After all, that is precisely the procedure that Haya and I...
Who?
Haya, the spirit of politics. We prompted you to act as you did, but you should have not forgotten the rules of the game.
Rules? What game?
Does it not occur to you that, like everything else, our collaboration also has its rules? Do away with your scruples as much as you like. You know I'm all in favor of that. But you really shouldn't try and cheat the one who is guiding you on this exciting, I might perhaps say, revolutionary path. You know, revolution too has its rules. Last time, you called me a devil. Just imagine for a moment that I am one. How do you think I would react to your amateurish attempt to fool me?
Fool you? But I wasn't...
Even if we didn't explicitly promise, it should have been obvious that we would not mention our collaboration to anyone, much less write official reports to those in authority who take a negative view of it. I don't think I exaggerate when I say we had begun, however tentatively, to trust each other. If you failed to grasp that we had an unwritten gentleman's agreement, then that was your first serious error. You have read enough books on this subject to know that even in my sphere, there are limits that cannot be ignored. To lie to a liar is fine. To lie to those who speak the truth, that's permissible. But to lie to the very powers that furnish us with this ability to lie, and ensure that we do so with impunity. That's really unforgivable. As for him, he loads man with the multitude of unrealistic commandments, and so he has no alternative but to forgive from time to time. Others, on the contrary, liberate man from these impossible commands, and as a result, do not have the need, the opportunity, nor ultimately the ability to forgive. Even if they had, they would scarcely forgive someone who goes back on an agreement that opens up all this boundless freedom. Their entire world would collapse were they to do that. The truth of the matter is, only by undertaking to be faithful to the authority that gives us this freedom may we hope to be free. Do you follow my drift?
I understand exactly what you are saying, but I'm afraid that you fail to understand me.
You don't say.
The understanding you are obviously referring to could only be considered as an attempt at treachery on my part by someone who is unaware of the reason why I was able to give it in the first place.
You did it to save your skin.
Yes, of course. But what would that have been worth had it been paid for by treachery? Do you take me for an idiot? I could only make that promise because I had made up my mind to make the best use of the position which I had been put in. I am now in a position to know exactly what the other side is up to, and to flood them with our disinformation. I can cover our tracks and provide them with false ones, and I can use all this to help those of us who are in danger, and to sink those who endanger us. Don't you see? I can serve our cause like an agent planted in the very midst of the enemy. Indeed, at the head of the very department whose job it is to wage war against us. I am surprised and disappointed that you fail to grasp and appreciate my intention.
Even though you may have well invented this explanation on the spur of the moment, so be it. I accept it. To give you your last chance, you understand. We too can occasionally forgive from time to time, to offer the culprit the opportunity to reform. If a little while ago I told you otherwise, then that was only to scare you and to coax you to make this quite unambiguous offer, thus saving you from the edge of the precipice. Love? As you can see, I am really not the devil. Luckily for you, if I were, this piece of treachery you were able to get away with would have cost you dear. Nay, your deputy must be 100 below.
Not quite.